Ready to go live. Oh, and
Oh,
we're
man.
definitely live. I'm going to go on here. Hello, everybody. We're just getting set up here, but you can let us know in the comments if you can hear us, if you can see us. And definitely, if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. We're going to get started here in the next 60 seconds or so.
Tag me, V.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. There you are. Oh, they can definitely see us. This is like,
Oh, yeah?
oh yeah, yep. My lights are very, very bright. We're gonna go ahead and tone these down because they are just make it a little warmer. Here we go. All righty.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
It says it changed it completely, right?
Yeah, I need to get one of those bright ones. I need to get one of those.
Right? Okay,
Where do I
hold
get
on a
that
second.
from? Right.
I don't know. It was a gift. My boyfriend got me because he knew that I was like using lighting and all that, and I had been begging for it. Finally, somebody got it for me. Wink, wink, and I was like, "Yeah, awesome!" I was excited. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and tag Senor Aaron here. Facebook is such a process, and it's like one of those things that it's like unnecessary to go through, but it's necessary because this is the times we live in. I can imagine because before we never even had the ability to do something like this. So listen, I'm okay with that. You are definitely tagged now.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a
look. It should
look.
show up all the way from the USVI. Hello. That's awesome. It's so crazy with no music in the back. Did you see it?
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, and I'm gonna. It's telling me that it's not public, so we're gonna go ahead and change that as well. I don't know why it's such a process, but here we go.
Yeah, we should.
That's why this is why I record this and I edit it later. Facebook just seems to get like all of it though. Definitely, if you guys are watching this, make sure to share this out. Share this with your friends. Go ahead and tag some of our team members down below. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Share. I'm going to go ahead and send it out to a few people. In the meantime, you guys know the drill. Give me one word, just one word on how you're feeling today. Today is Friday. It's Black Friday. I mean, I'm calling it Black Friday. It's Friday the 13th, whatever. So I went with the theme. You know, I kind of changed here a little bit. I had a blue shirt on. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and vibe out with the black because as a bartender, that's how we rock this. I don't know if you've ever bartended before, but it's quite a fun journey, I will say.
I have. I was for about 3 months once.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and go here because I don't really see. Oh, I like. Cheers to you. I like how you did that yesterday, by the way. But anyways, let's just get started, okay? So everyone, welcome to Fired Up Friday, hosted by the Superhuman Movement, where we focus on tapping into your unique abilities and living your life like a superhuman. Our life coaching revolves around primary pillars of success, all aspects of health, wealth, and spirituality that can take your journey above and beyond what's possible. You can find out more at thesuperhumanmovement.com. However, this is the epic trading exclusive, and we have the amazing Aaron Crosbie. Now, Aaron is no stranger to struggle. We actually had a discussion about this on a couple of occasions, and I was so excited to hear about his journey and how much he shared with the company and our teams and everything that I was like, you know what? Let's do a Fired Up Friday. Why not? It's been a while, right? Let me have fun with this. So here we are. So everyone give a big round of applause for Mr. Aaron AJ Crosbie. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's been a crazy week, a crazy day, but I'm blessed. I'm here, highly favored, all that jazz. So it's nice to see you. So I know, look, let's start from the beginning only because it's going to give a nice base and a foundation for where you are now, because everyone sees you now. You talked about having the Rolex, you talked about having the gold and diamond chains now, and the ability to do that. Going on the ambassador trip, which is amazing, to Mexico, being an educator and all that, and we're going to get into that. But tell me, Aaron, I don't know when it is that you started. Well, it was a good 8 years ago. So tell me about Aaron 8 years ago.
Whew, man. Aaron 8 years ago was in a very different place to Aaron right now. And you've got to try and imagine, right? I came from corporate London where I was earning good money, okay? But I wasn't happy. I was very underfulfilled because I hated going to work in the morning. I hated getting back late, and the nature of my job was I had to get back late because I was working long hours, you know, busting my ass doing a sales job, right?
Right.
But I was just sick of living life this way. I was sick of making just enough money to get by. I was sick of just getting home late. I was sick of feeling tired on the weekends, and I just didn't want to live life like this anymore.
Right.
And 8 years ago was when I discovered trading. And I was so determined to make it work that I completely broke myself. I just said, right, I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting everything. I'm going full at this. As soon as I had a bit of experience and I thought, okay, this was enough to run with, I just left everything behind and I went all in. Now, was it a bit naive? Maybe. Did I expect it to be as bad as it was going to be? No, not at all. But it was very, very bad. It was bad.
Right.
And I have no regrets because I do truly believe that if you hit a high point in life, which is, I mean, realistically where I kind of am right now, if you hit that high point in life, you're never going to appreciate it as much as you will if you didn't come from that dark place. So that's where I come from. This is why I'm so grateful every single day now. I praise the Lord. I'm so grateful where I am, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know a lot of you watching can actually understand where he's come from. It's interesting how we associate the struggle with success. And I talk about this all the time. It's not necessary, but because of conditioning, because of the way that we've been taught, we see struggle compared or paired with success, right? So it is a long journey. It is an arduous journey, but it doesn't have to be painful, right? So, but it's interesting. And I had to learn that, especially with everything that I've been through, and I'm sure you as well. Something that you said really struck me, and I feel it even saying this. But you mentioned that you were couch surfing for a while, right? Because you were so determined to make this work that you were just like, listen, I know that I can't afford to do X, Y, and Z, but if you can reach out, and so you reached out to your support system. How was that journey for you though? Because I know that some people might have either said yes, no, or were indifferent, or just told you go back to work. God only knows what they said, but tell me more about that.
I kind of had to do what I had to do to survive at the time. And if I'm honest, it's quite humiliating at times. It's quite humiliating because, you know, I've always been the guy to have, I mean, not to blow my own trumpet, but I've always loved the girls, right? I've always loved the girls. And, you know, I still had the girls around me. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, there's a party around our house. And here's the thing, the guy who I was kind of shacking up with, he had a lot of money and stuff, and he's still a great friend of mine now. So we'd have a lot of parties and stuff, right? But it would be a little bit humiliating when people realised that I was on the sofa, right? I was on the sofa. But I had to do what I had to do 8 years ago to get to where I'm now. And when I left my job at the drop of a hat, I just said, right, every bit of money that I've got, I'm going to put to the side. I'm not even going to touch it. I had money at points, but I didn't touch it because I was just determined that my next check was going to come from trading. I put myself in this like tunnel vision, like I've got money to the side, but I'm not going to touch it because my next check's from trading. So I forced myself to try and make that income from trading. But here's the thing, and it's a really odd thing. When you're not consistent trading and you're starting out, if you put yourself in a position of compromise like that, it works against you because the psychology plays against you. You know, you take a couple of losing trades and then you're chasing your next trade and you lose that one, and then you go all in, and then you miss the good trade because you're messed up from the bad trade and you're all over the place. So that plays against you for you know, the most part of it. So I don't ever recommend doing what I did, by the way, guys. I don't recommend going
absolutely not. And I'm glad you mentioned that because we talk about this all the time. A lot of people think that just because we are entrepreneurs and we focus on that we hate jobs or we shun them. No, absolutely not. That's a base. It's a base. It's a starting point. You know, you have to still be able to feed yourself, feed your families. If you don't have to compromise that, if you can be able to, I don't want to say sacrifice, but literally structure your day so that you can study, trade, focus, and then be able to balance yourself by focusing on your family and work when necessary. That's actually the best way to do this, because not only will you feel more comfortable, but you'll ease into it. And definitely the psychological part. I talk about this all the time. Like, everyone asks me, like, they'll ask me, like, how much money do you make? How long did it take you? I said, my journey was not yours, and it's never gonna be. Every single person's journey is completely unique. Completely unique. I can be doing this. I've been trading for 3 years, but the way I started was very rough. You know what I mean? So everyone's is different, you know? I was working the entire time, right? And so it wasn't until this year that I really took hi Ali, took the time to say, you know what? I can't bartend, I can't sing, I'm not able to do any of that. I'm here quarantined. What else can I do? And I started becoming a better trader because I was just here, you know? And so I told myself, this is all I got. That's it. It's now or never, Veronica. Either you're going to master this and start making good profits, because I was making decent profits. I was the break even girl. You know, I was breaking even. I would make a good week, and then the next week I would be like completely out of it, you know? And so I'm glad that you mentioned that. And so for those of you who are actually on, go ahead and post something. One thing that you remind yourself every day, because I know there's a lot of traders on here. Remind yourself every day of how to stay committed. Okay, because we talk about that. Now, Aaron, thank you for sharing that, by the way. As far as like your why, because obviously you just decided was it like you were sick and tired of being sick and tired kind of thing? Because obviously you had the money. It wasn't the money issue. It was the freedom issue. And we don't typically get that. There's a lot of people say it's because I need the money. Now you just wanted the freedom, right? And so what really pushed you over the edge? Was it like a specific day and an employee? Because I always like to hear these stories.
What are you asking me right now or back then?
No, back then. We're still talking about Aaron before the Rolexes.
yeah, before it all, right? My why is just, if I'm honest with you, if I'm being very honest, since a young age, I've always wanted to be a millionaire. Since the age of about 14, 15, I said I was going to be a millionaire by 21, right? So I was determined to be a millionaire. Yeah, Ali's saying money magnet right now. I came from a place where my father was very successful, still is. He would pick me up in Porsches, you know, all of the nicest cars, and had the big house, right? So I was surrounded by that bit of money, but it was far enough at a distance from me, because my dad and my mum and dad broke up when I was about 5 years old, right? So I come from a broken home, and I grew up with my mum, who I love dearly, very, very close to my mum. And I used to obviously see my dad every other weekend kind of thing. But as you get older, you kind of, you know, I drifted a little bit apart from him, but he was still close enough for me to see what success was like. I was around success, but it's like almost like, imagine dangling a carrot, right? It's that close, but it's not there. So I could see what it was like to be successful. I knew that I loved the cars. You know, I loved the idea of the money. I loved the idea of the holiday. I wanted to do whatever the hell I wanted to do. Now, growing up, I'll be honest with you, I was a bit of a rebellious kid.
I think most of us were. Right. I think to be an entrepreneur, you have to have that rebellious spirit, in my opinion.
No, you're right. And I was the guy, you know, getting in trouble at school a lot, but still had the kind of the intelligence to do well, right? I wouldn't study much, but I was naturally quite smart. So, you know, I would smash some classes. The class that I liked, I was smashed, but I was very naughty. I was always getting kicked out. I was always outside the head teacher's office.
I would have never guessed it.
And then, you know, growing up, I got myself again in a lot of trouble. I was a bit of a street kid growing up. So I came from that place of rebelliousness, right? But because I was that bit rebellious, it just made me think, I only want to do what I want to do. And I don't care about what anyone else wants me to do. Like, my dad wanted me to go work in corporate London because that's what he did. And he wanted me to deal with, you know, university and all these kind of things. And I just said, I'm not doing anything else that anyone wants me to do. I'm just doing me, right? So from a young age, I was just doing me. So my why back then was, I just want to do what the hell I want to do. And that gave me the inspiration to want to go at trading, because I realized I don't need to answer to a boss anymore, right? If he says, why are you 10 minutes late? I can go, screw you. I'm a trader. I'm not listening to you anymore. And I'm not going home late anymore. and I'm having dinner on time, and I'm going to the gym when I want to go to the gym. I wanted to just do what I want to do, right? That was it.
Oh, I've been there. Absolutely. It's interesting because when I first started learning trading, I thought I was like this badass. I was like, I know stuff that you don't know, and I was like wanting everyone to do it. And I knew that it wasn't going to be for everyone, but I didn't care. I was telling everybody. And I was working at a cigar bar at the time. So it was like, so it's affluent individuals, but they're looking at this girl behind the bar. They're thinking, oh, she's just, she sings and she bartends. She doesn't know it. But once they actually had conversations with me, and I can actually hold conversations, and I did this throughout the time that I was there, I was impressing them, and I was surprised that I was impressing them, because I'm here just having a normal conversation thinking, wow, I mean, and there was people that I was teaching while I was just sitting there, and I was showing them, because they're like, okay, what is it really? Well, let me show you here in the charts. And I was teaching. Mind you, my first year, I was in it. I was all for it. So, but I don't know if it was like the same thing that it was with you, where I was ready. Obviously, you jumped for it. I was ready, but I had a fear. I think I was more scared of succeeding than I was failing, because I can fail. I know how to fail. Like, have you ever been there? Like, you're comfortable with failing.
Very comfortable, because you're so used to failing is comfortable. When you look at success and you're like, oh, I could do this. It can make me really successful. You're just like, oh, that's scary. Like, oh, I'm not used to being successful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it's that fear of greatness. I don't know how many of you guys 111 down below, if you guys ever felt that before, and you've actually stopped yourself from I wasn't a rebel.
Do you know what really helps? What really helps you get over that fear of success is affirmations. I found that really helped me.
We're definitely going to actually dive into that. Actually, let's just do it now. I noticed that not only because I'm just going to go with the flow here. I had some questions, but what I'm feeling, I go by my heart. What I'm feeling is just let's flow with it, because we always have really great conversation, and we do as many calls as the other does. So we know how to handle a crowd and all these kinds of things. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen my previous post. Looking at my old stuff, singing and all that, it gets me so emotional, because I want to be back on stage so bad. But it's also shifted because I want to stand and I want to actually speak. I want to be more of a speaker than anything else. So it's kind of cool. But anyways, moving along. So my journey started very similar. I watched The Secret for the first time, and I knew from when I was very little, I wanted to be very successful, right? And so I thought it was going to be in music, and then it turns out that there was a greater purpose to it, right? And so what kind of affirmations did you use that were like consistent? Those were like your go-tos.
Man, it was just there's so many of them, because what I used to do is I used to just have like a load of them on an audio book or like an audio file, and I'll just listen to them over and over again. Sometimes I speak them out loud, but I'm more of a listener kind of thing. Here's the thing, I feel like with that kind of thing, you have to do what feels comfortable for you. Like, some people will tell you it's better if you if you do it during meditation. Other people will say it's better if if you do it and you speak it out loud. But
for me, I have to feel it. Like, for me, my voice is my power. So for me, having to speak it out is how it actually manifests. Or I write it, but I notice for me, there's more power in speaking it, because I can feel it all, like in everything, right? I would urge you to try. I would urge you to do that one day. I don't know if you're ever going to come back to the States and be somewhere very sunny and lush and all that, but I do it here in a local park. After I drop off my son, I go for like 10, 20 minutes. And I've been pushing myself to do it. And I've noticed the differences on things just being instantaneous, things coming into my circle, into my space, that are just like, like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. And I don't know how many of you guys have actually felt that. How many of you have actually spoken it or written it, or, somehow like you were so determined in your mind, nothing else could tell you that it actually happened. And it was on both sides. It was good and bad. So someone actually talking about like, oh, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. And then it actually happens. Right. And so it works both ways, guys. Energy does not discriminate. It says it goes by the most powerful thought. Right. So did you ever think that you were going to fail? Was that like obviously it wasn't a dominating factor for you, but what was that for you, as far as like your thought process, like how did that actually happen for you? Because I'm only intrigued about that, because I've heard the way you speak, and I love the way that you help everybody, that you're so gung-ho on giving us tips and guiding us and teaching and giving us all aspects of meditations and all that. So obviously this came from somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go into it in just a second. I just want to finish up on that last point. Basically, what I was saying to you is that the reason that when I do affirmations, I listen to audio is because if I'm very honest with you, I grew up as a very shy kid. I didn't like to, I was quite an inward person, a bit of an introvert growing up. I had a big personality and stuff, but I felt quite shy as a kid. And I had to kind of really bring out the extrovert in me, right? Which is that, you guys see me on lives and, I look like this really outgoing character and I am in some ways, but I had to train myself to do that. So when I do meditation or affirmations, I do it inwards instead of coming out and speaking it kind of thing. So that's how it kind of makes sense for me. But your next question, sorry, you said about, why do I kind of help people basically?
Well, where did that desire come from? Because that's something that's bred within you, because a lot of people help people to be selfish. You're doing it because why? Like, what is your why with that?
Well, I can answer that really simply. And I relate back to the last couple of days, especially. So the last couple of days, you may have seen me on social media posting about people's successes that I'm teaching trading. So for instance, Rory, on Wednesday, I think it was, he won 3 out of 3 trades. Okay. He's one of my personal mentorship students. So I personally mentor a group of students, and he's one of those people. And he's been live now for about a week. And he's been demo trading with me for about a month and a half. And his success rate is above 90% now for the last couple of weeks. He takes a lot of trades because
guys, hold on. Can you guys type a 777 down below for that? Traders know that anything above a 60% success rate makes you a dope trader. A 90%? Oh boy.
And I'm talking 90% out of like 20 plus trades because he's a scalper, right? So that's just one, right? Sarah, another one of my students, right? She has been trading with me again, not too long, but this week she's won pretty much every single trade. She's lost just a couple of trades out of, again, maybe like 10, 15 trades or whatever. So when they come to me and they say, Aaron, like, I can't believe how accurate I'm being. Like, I'm even on a live account and I'm doing these. I'm so good. Like, I came from I couldn't trade. I just wanted it for the life of me. And now I'm like plus 90% accurate. And when someone says that to me and they talk about, one of my students, Michael, he said, I just want to thank you so much. He said, it's not for me, it's for my family. Like, you're literally like feeding my family with what you've taught me. Like, it's feeding my family now. And I said to him, look, I said, those words for me mean more than any sum of money, right? I being quite frank with you, I can earn $20,000 in a day. Pretty not too much of a big deal, right? But those words for me hit me in the chest so much harder than any sum of money could. So when you can just impact so many people a little bit, it just enriches you so much more than money. When you're trying to get money, when you're trying to come up, you think that money is everything, the be all and end all, because that's all you're chasing. Because when you haven't got it, it's all you want. But when you do get it, you're like, okay, what now? And then when you help a lot of people, that is the tip top of anything you can do. I promise you.
Absolutely. I love that. I think that was similar for me as well. But I always said, like, I was one of those kids that wrote lists. When I was very young, I was a very odd child. I was actually quiet as well because I was, I wrote about this just earlier. I think more because I was always processing, I was always observing, and I just wanted to learn so much that I would always observe people. And then I turned out to be like the weird kid that was always so quiet. But then when people actually knew who I was like this loud, boisterous, laughing, joking with my family, dancing and having conversations. But then when it came down to being with anybody else, I was very quiet. But it was mostly because I was observing.
I relate to that very highly.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So it was with family, right? You were more outgoing.
My close friends or family, I was like the crazy loud one, but with outside of people, I was like,
yeah, I think I still do that, honestly, from time to time. I can sit and observe and I kind of just feel out the room, energetically. And I'm just kind of like, where am I? How can I command the space? Am I a command of my space? I start to, that's actually the process. It happens much quicker now, of course, because I'm, whatever. But yeah, on top of my list was always to help others, but I didn't know how. So I was always like, oh, maybe in my writing, oh, maybe. And I was just always looking to figure things out. So when I found network marketing, I was like, that's it. I'm going to do it. Now, I know that you said is this your first go round with network marketing, by the way?
Well, it's a funny story.
Funny story.
I found I was on the phone to one of my dear, very good friends in Epic the other day, and I spoke to her, and she said the same thing. She said, "Have you been network marketing before?" And I said, "I came very, very close once. I even went to. I was about 16 years old, and after my dad telling me, I said, Dad, I really want to get into network marketing. And, I looked up to my dad for advice because he had a lot of money, right? I said, Dad, I really want to get into network marketing. About 15, 16 years old. And he looked on the computer, he went, no, that's an awful idea, son. Don't do that.
Oh my God.
I said, what do you mean? I said, it's a brilliant idea. My friends are earning money. And he said, no, it says here that only X% of people actually make money. So forget it. And I said,
oh, okay. Wow.
I didn't take his advice. I still, at the age of like 15, I put on a full suit and tie, and I went down to London to this event. I know, it's so funny. I found a picture of me today. I found a picture of me. I went down to this event in London all by myself, and I met people I've never met before. And I went to this network marketing event, and it was crazy. Everyone was standing up and screaming, "Ah, ah!" Rubies and diamonds coming on the stage with these people called Rubies and Diamonds, and everyone was screaming and praising the Lord. Everyone's going crazy. And I was like, what the hell have I walked into? And then I was so overwhelmed by the experience. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I said, there's no way that I can ever be as good as these people because they're so good. They're earning hundreds of thousands a year. And I'm just like a 15-year-old. And my dad's told me not to come here. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going home. And I went home and I was like, took my field. And I was like, right, that's me. I'm never doing network marketing. But my God, that is a crazy place.
Yeah. I know you were probably so young. And now you're just like, yeah, this is awesome. I had a similar experience. That's so funny, but it was more because I was seeking something, I was 19. I was like, I know I'm looking for something. I don't want to work a regular job. Been working since I was 15 for other people. And I knew for sure I didn't want to do it, so I've been looking for some time, so I've had quite the ride. And so, I learned a lot. I will tell you, I learned a lot. So this was like your first experience, well, your second experience, I want to say, right? And so you probably did some research over the time. You're like seeing that, network marketing itself is like one of the highest. Wait, I have it. I don't know if I posted it, but people don't realize. Really,
because I've been with 2 different companies this year.
Okay. Right. So we don't. Yeah, we know about the whole plan. We already know because we were there. We were there together too. So check this out. Well, people don't know, and I have to read this off. I'm going to post this for everybody because people asked me about this. And thank you, David Delau, for posting this earlier. I was like, I meant to put it, but professional like NFL makes about 9.58 billion. Right. I believe this is on a yearly basis. Music industry, 15 billion. Movie industry, 88 billion. Video game industry, 76 billion. So they're like, oh, gamers and all that, right? The natural food industry, which I'm very excited about because I'm into health and all that, 90 billion. Network marketing industry is double that, $178 billion. Guys, I don't care what anybody says. Right? I don't care what anybody says. You work your tail off in something you believe in and make it work. It will work for you. You have to believe in it, though. I'm not going to lie. You have to believe in it. You can't fake your way. This is one thing you can't fake. You can. It's not sustainable. People will end up seeing through it, right? And I would rather push something that I believe in. And that's why everyone's like, why are you always talking about forex? And I had a friend of mine touch base with me. I got to change this. I'm tired of being on the road and everything. He's like, you're still doing forex? I'm like, duh. It changed my life completely, and some people don't want to share it, and that's fine. Absolutely. Go out and learn the skill set. Do that. Not necessary to share. However, there's people looking. I can guarantee your brother, cousin, mother, daughter, whatever is going to be looking. Why not you be the first person to tell them about it, and somebody that they can trust. Right. And so, I do this. I was like, great. No, when I do onboarding, I'm like, great, whatever you want. I said, eventually you'll probably love it enough and you share it. Nah. 2 months later, like the whole SpongeBob thing. And they're sharing it. They're asking me about marketing. And again, you guys, this is not so that you go ahead and jump in and do all that. I'm just having a conversation because I'm passionate about it, right? And there's a lot of things you guys are passionate about, and I hope and pray that it works for you. However, I know that this can work for a lot of people, right, Aaron? So like, I have a question actually, because how is it that you got into this space so that you can be introduced and then become an educator? You know, all of a sudden, like just become an educator for Epic. I was just like, what?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The truth is that I've been teaching people to trade for about 6 years of my career, right? So I came with not only a lot of experience trading for nearly a decade now, but I've also been teaching people for the last 6 years. And this is something I do see of people that recently get into teaching, having been trading for a couple of years, is that you're still building your teaching skills. Being able to trade and being able to teach trading is two very different things. And again, not to blow my own trumpet, but I do have lots of testimonials of people saying that how you teach me just works for me, like 100%, because I've taught so many people for so many years that I know how to articulate it. So I think that when there were certain members of the Epic family that kind of reached out to the board and said, look, we really want Aaron to be one of the educators. So they just, you know, we had a conversation. And, you know, again, it's not for any financial gain at all. If it was for financial gain, I wouldn't be doing it because it wouldn't be worth it. I do it for the love of people, and that's the truth. I do it because I get such a kick out of helping these people.
I love that. I love that. And that's actually the same thing. Like, I think so many people can relate to that. There's a lot of people who love what they do. They don't get paid for it, right? And so this is why I always tell them, I said, but find something that's going to pay you. You know, hopefully it's the same thing. Hopefully it's in the same line. But some of us have to work for something to make money, and others of us, golly, sometimes I think faster than I talk. So to find something that you can make money and that you love, or sometimes we have to divide them up, and it's okay. It's completely okay, because I have 6 sources of income. I don't know how many you have, but I have 6 sources now. I'm about to add a 7th here in the next year. Right. They're all starting to pick up, which is kind of cool, you know, so I'm actually really happy about that. And so my belief, and I think you said this before, like I always tell people, share my belief, like borrow mine before you have yours, you know? And so let's dive in a little bit, right? So in the beginning, did you want to quit? Did you just want to be like, did it beat you up that much that you were just like, you know what, screw this, I'm going back to work?
Veronica, I nearly quit so many times. I went back to work. I like picked up part-time jobs. I mowed grass. I cut hedges. I went back into sales jobs. I just had to. I did anything I needed to do to survive. But every single time that I thought about quitting, every single time that I did a job for more than just even a month or two, I went back in my head to trading, and I went back to those charts. And I went back to the candlesticks, and I every single time, whatever I've done in life, right, I've always been gravitated so highly to trading, and it's because I've realized it's my passion. Yeah, I have a passion for trading. Absolutely. And it's not because I love staring at candlesticks. Trading can be the most boring thing in the world. Honestly. And the way I teach people to trade is like, I don't want you to stare at a screen. I want you to set price alerts, because I don't stare at a screen, guys, right? I trade for like 10 hours plus a day. But I'm not staring at candlesticks. I'm setting alerts, right? Or I'm doing a scalping session for 30 minutes in the morning, maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon. So you can make trading a lot funner for you. But the point is, whatever I've done through life just to kind of get by, when I was trying to make trading my, you know, my consistent career, I just managed to be like a magnet. It was like a magnet. I couldn't go anywhere without trading being on my mind at some point, and then going straight back into it. And that's how I know now that for the rest of my life, I'll always be trading. Now that I'm heavily consistent, you know, I've got a very strong win rate, I would never, ever go back to anything apart from trading.
Why would you? Yeah, why would you? I mean, unless you're looking to probably expand, go into real estate or something, kind of like Jeffrey, you know, and like different things. And of course, we're always going to find something to add on. But that's why I tell people, once you get it, say again.
I said like this, network marketing. I'll do additional things, but I'll never stop trading for the rest. I'll be 90 years old and still, you know, doing 20 pips in the morning. 100%.
Right. And that's what people don't get. Once you learn the skill set, it doesn't leave. It's like riding a bike. You'll never unlearn it. Okay. You'll never unlearn it. The only thing that would stop you is you. Right. It's you not getting up. It's you not charting. It's you not being a student always. Right. It's none of that. It's you yourself that would stop it. Or you would believe somebody else in your ear telling you, oh, should quit that nonsense. What is that about? I know that there's some people who have literally, my dad and my mom, they have no clue. Like, they're just like, oh, you're making good money. Awesome. Say again.
I said, I've just discovered the comments. This is fun.
Oh yeah, you didn't see. Yeah, that's what that's what I've been having fun with.
Hi everyone, how you doing? Oh, I thought it was just you and me, Veronica.
No, absolutely, they're all paying attention.
All right,
they're all here with us. Hey, Elise. Speaking of bomb traders, my previous guest, Miss Elise Amores, Amore. So it's fun. It's a fun journey. I'm glad that I met you through this journey, by the way, because you're just an awesome soul. You're very similar to me, very straightforward, but still loving. Like, I'm the pusher, but it's because I love you. You know, I'm just this one example you said about like, oh, so I haven't got anybody in my team. Oh, your poor soul. So what have you done? that was so perfect because that's how I am. Right? How often do we do that, guys? Okay, so let me tell you guys something. If you don't work at something, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able just to sit there. You can ohm your way into anything. You'll feel good about it, but there has to be action along with it. Like, there's some people who read all the time. They just read, and they input information, but they never apply. Guys, you have to apply everything, or not everything, but structured, right? And so with strategies, it's the same thing. And how many strategies did you go through before you actually found something that works for you? God. You probably went through so much, because I mean, 8 years, right?
I tried some garbage in my first year. Honestly, I was on YouTube. Every strategy I could find. Oh,
you were on YouTube. Oh God, can you please advise everybody on that, please? Oh gosh.
Honestly, I would go on YouTube and I'd be like, just type in strategy and just go through them all and then just try it. And I would just I'll just do like a strategy per week, and I'll never master anything. I was just the worst. Guys, there's a lot of crap on YouTube. Let me just say that, right? There's a lot. Anything that is free in trading, just be aware that it's just gonna
disclaimer
everything good and everything crap all in one place, and there's more crap than good, right? So I'm not bashing YouTube. I'm sure there's some brilliant strategies on YouTube, but there's also just, you've got to sift through the SHIT, right? You're just gonna have a hard time with it. If you're in somewhere like Epic, which you probably are on this video recording. If you're not, you probably should be. But if you are in Epic, then you're not going to have to worry about sieving through the crap, because you're being taught by 6, 7, and 8 figure traders, right? With multitudes of experience. So
we have somebody asking a nice question. So what's your sign? Okay, what are your signs? Okay, so I'm assuming what's your signs? So I'm assuming that's both of us. You go ahead and you answer the question first.
Is that like star sign or?
Yeah. I love how you just said that. What is your astrological sign, sir?
Astrological sign, right. So I'm a Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn. That's why we get along. My son's a Capricorn. I have some really great associates, business friends that I still talk to about like everything under the sun when it comes to business, right? And I'm a cusp between an Aries and a Taurus. So I have the fire with the earth. And so everyone's like, you're more of a Taurus. I might have been more of an Aries as a kid, and then more of a Taurus as I got older, but it's because I land in the middle. So whenever I read my horoscope, when I do, 20% of it still comes up as I'm an Aries. And I'm just like, I'll stick to both. I'll just stick in between. Dreams don't work unless you do. Thank you for that, Kevin. I love that. Do you guys have any questions for him? Because I was about to ask him another one, but I see like everyone is like, oh, look, Epic is honestly the best thing out. No cap. I'm gonna have to second that. I'm gonna have to second that, guys. I've been through a lot of people have watched my journey. I don't talk that much, but I'm sure that you've been through this as well, where you go through platforms and you're like, okay, this is great. And then until something else better comes along and you're just like, okay, hold on a second, right? Guys, I've been through everything. They all have the fluff and the excitement and all the hype and everything. And then you see that they're not actually trading. And you're just like, oh, well, I'm not very surprised now because, like here we are, right?
On that note of Kevin said, your dreams don't work unless you do. On that note, I was one of these people. I read every book. I studied loads, and I listened to all the gurus, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be in life, and I couldn't make sense of it.
Yeah.
And what I realized is I was afraid to take action. And it was because I was afraid of the success. I thought I was so desperate for the success, but I was afraid of getting it. It was really weird. It's really weird psychology. But something that helped me with that, one was the affirmations, and two was Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule. And that book is all centered around taking massive action.
Just taking action.
You've got
just
10X.
Taking action. Because the cool part about taking action or just moving forward in something is that you can always fix it. You can always adjust. You compound or adjust. You do one or the other, right? You compound on your actions, on your daily, your IPAs, which are income producing activities or whatever daily activities, if they're working for you. But there's nothing that tells you can't shift it or go into something else. Nothing is telling you that. Nothing. It's not like you start here and this is what you got to do every single day for the rest of your life. No. Guys, we're malleable individuals. We're chameleons. We go ahead and shift and change when it's necessary. But it is also important to be consistent and compound on what you're already doing if it's working, right? If it's working.
Evan in the comment section saying same here, Aaron. It's just a very common theme. We drive for something we want, but then we're afraid of going at it with as much action as we know we have to do. And it's a very, very unusual psychology. It's the same thing with trading. I see it all the time. Sometimes my personal students that I teach, some of them will completely fly, and then the ones that fly will just keep flying, right? So maybe a couple of stumbling blocks, but they tend to keep flying because they're the ones that they're just in tune with the path. But then there'll be other people on the program, and they'll see the people flying, and they'll be like, oh, I really want to fly.
And they'll just stand back. It's not for me. It's not for me. Guys, it's all for you. I want everyone to understand something. Neither Aaron or I are anybody special. Absolutely not. The only difference is that we're individuals that took that leap of faith and stepped forward into what we wanted to do and didn't let anything else stop us. As a matter of fact, he had a father that said no, years ago, right? And he did it anyway. He realized it might have been for him at the time, and this is something very specific, but just in general. How many of you guys have parents? Put it 222. If you guys have parents or loved ones or a partner or anybody, friends that has said, no way, Jose, you're not doing this, stick to what you're doing. You're better off there, or essentially pushing you down, right? And making you feel less than. I want you to always feel the bigger portion of who you are. You are source within. I don't care what anybody says. It is within us that we're created in the image. Whatever you believe, this is who we are, right? But in order for us to feel that and be that, we have to act on it. We have to actually put ourselves forward, and also, and affirmations come also in the space and of the way we self-talk, right? Where, if you tell yourself you're stupid, you're fat, you're all these kind of different things, what's going to happen? You're shrinking yourself down, and you are this immense, spectacular light being that is the world is waiting for you to step into that, right? Whether you're just guiding one person, you're guiding a group of people, you're still guiding, right? Or yourself. Go ahead.
So something really fascinating happened to me when I started going really deep into affirmations. And I think quite a few of you know how I do it now, because I've done 2 sessions this week on affirmations. I've called it Manifestation 30. I know Veronica's been on the call with me.
They're absolutely great, guys.
What I do is I play some of my favorite affirmation tapes, and all these they run for about 8 hours. And I often also sometimes put it on when I'm sleeping at night, because it tunes the subconscious mind. What it does is it talks to you about, oh, I am successful. I can do whatever I want to do. I'm so grateful now that it says all these things, right? And what happens to me is sometimes I might wake up. If I haven't done it for a couple of days, I might wake up and I can feel that something's slightly off. And then what I do, I listen to this for 20, 30 minutes and bang, I'm back.
Back at it.
I'm back. And if I do it then that following evening, or maybe with you guys, I'm back all night. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm back. So I promise you now, if you do these affirmations every day, I promise you now, it's so weird. You feel extremely happy a lot of the time. And you feel extremely grateful for everything. Like this morning, I woke up and I was like, oh God, it's just so beautiful outside. Like these
And it's
orange
probably like super
trees.
cloudy.
I was like, these orange trees. I said, oh, I love my car. And these people messaging me about these profits. Oh God, I just love today. But I promise, if I didn't do affirmations for the last, few days really heavily, I wouldn't have felt that way. But it's something really weird. When you dig into the science of it, you can look at these top people like, Joe Dispenza or God, there's so many people, guys.
Yeah, there's a ton. We were going through a few of them. If
Bob
you guys
Proctor,
need a list, just reach out.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor. But if you listen to some of the things they say, they all say, and this is something that Joe Dispenza says, actually, he breaks it down very highly. But what he says is, if you truly want to manifest something, you have to feel grateful for that thing. So basically, he did this experiment where he had monks in a room. Okay, he had monks in a room, and he had scientists rigged up to these monks, right? And these monks obviously very spiritual, very healing, and very tantric and all these wonderful things, right? And they had DNA cells also being monitored in front of them, okay? And they had all their scientific equipment monitoring them. And they said to the monks, right, now try and visualize the DNA doing this certain formation, basically to spiral the DNA. They were trying to speed up the spiraling of the DNA. So picture in your mind spiraling the DNA. They did it, and there was no effect. And they said, really feel it this time. Really try and manifest it. Really feel it. Try and spin the DNA. And they did it again. They tried to spin the DNA, but it wouldn't work. And this time, the final time, what they said, the scientist and the person who was leading the story, he said, I now want you to do it, but I want you to feel extremely grateful for that it's already happened, right? You're so happy and so grateful that you've managed to spin this DNA just using your mind. And they did it one final time, and the DNA spun. So what these manifestation tapes tell you is that if you do want to be in the nice house, in the Lamborghini, whatever it is, on the holiday, that's that you have to feel grateful for already having achieved that thing. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very odd thing that when you do feel grateful for that, it just magnifies the antenna on your body and throws out there in so much more of a higher intensity that it comes back to you a lot faster. And that's the truth about manifestation.
A lot of people, and thank you for that, because I talk about this literally Cassie knows, because I give her insight into this all the time. I'm part of what's called the Light Beings community. We are literally a community of beings that are looking to elevate the world and essentially by starting within ourselves, right? I know you're going to see tons of funny comments. I love this stuff, right? So it's just cracking
up in the comment section.
Yeah, it's and everyone knows that energy has a vibration. It has an energetic imprint, right? And how many of you guys have heard about this is a very, very famous water. I can never remember the guy's name. He used to be local, this doctor who took 2 vats of water. Okay. And on one of them, it was rice. Okay. It was rice. And he did it with water as well. The first vat of rice, there was 2 of them. One, he actually put love, and the other one, he put hate. Right. I'm probably butchering this thing because he's done it many, many times. He's done it in person. And so for 2 weeks, a week or 2 weeks, the one that was love, he was speaking into it with love and adoration and nurturing it and loving it and nothing else whatsoever. Right. And then on the hate one, just speaking terrible things, hating, oh, you're terrible, you're horrible, rice, all these different things, right? Just giving so much hate, the energy of hate. Lo and behold, after 2 weeks, the one with love had not rotten. It was still good enough to eat. The one with hate, guess what happened? Completely rotten, black, moldy, completely. The same thing happens with water. And I used to do this, and I'm going to start doing this again. There's a lot of things I've let go of, yoga and different things, crazy couple years. But I used to write different affirmations. I would put love, sustenance, different things on my water, because it also changes the molecular structure of water. We are 70+% water, guys. What do you think is going to happen if we talk to ourselves in terrible ways? And we believe what other people tell us, and we look at our circumstances and rather be grateful for the fact that we actually either have a home, the fact that we're still alive, we're still breathing, that we can still eat, versus seeing our circumstances. Oh my God, I'm broke. I'm this. My bank account is at 0. What do you think you're going to get more of? What do you think is going to manifest more of? You can't be in that vibration and in that level of energetic impact, right? And be able to get what you want. You won't be able to attract it because you're not grateful for what you already have, right? I'm always putting myself in the space of abundance, gratitude, and love as much as possible. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we could talk about that forever. Oh yeah, I could show you guys all my all my crystals. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Thank you for that, Phil. There's a lot of these different
I love
things.
Phil.
Yeah, Phil's awesome. I love that.
I just love Phil. He's awesome. Yeah.
So this is something that I usually do towards the end, but I kind of want to actually expand on it only because you might have a little bit more. But first, what are 3 tips for people that are looking to shift their life? 3 tips, not just in the forex space, because this can probably apply all the way through, but 3 things that you would advise them to do now so that they can be able to start getting into that space, to start stepping into that space where they're more abundant, happier, etc.
I think one of the big ones for me, it has to be, I'm sorry, but it has to be start logging into your affirmations and manifestation. You have to start there, because I promise you now, and I've got friends that have tried to start businesses as of recently and stuff, and when I see people failing, it's usually because their mind's all wrong. And I see it all the time. I see people. I have people on my team now that are financially struggling, in debt and all these kind of things, and they like coach me, and I work really close with them. And then I see them go and do the same thing that's been messing them up for years. I'm like, why'd you do that? They're like, I don't know. So you attract these things if you don't know how to put them away and never let them come back. So it has to start up here. It has to start in your mind. So you need to go through the manifestation tapes. You need to go for your affirmations. And like Lynn says in the comments here, you need to change your vibration. That's number 1. Number 2, study your field hard. Right? Become the master of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in terms of knowledge, right? Because you can't apply to the highest level if you don't know what you're doing, right? And for me, it was finding a mentor that had the knowledge to pass down to me. So I had to find out who am I going to take counsel from. I wanted to take counsel from someone that had what I wanted, right? So for me, that again is probably a joint number 2, is find a solid mentor in whatever goal you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to become the next best network marketer, you might want to hit up Veronica, right? But you need to take counsel from someone that's got what you want. If you want Veronica's success in network marketing, you need to hit her up, right? And you need her to mentor you. So you need to join her team. If you want, to replicate my trading results, you need to hit me up and we need to work together, right? So find out who you need to take counsel from and make that person your mentor, okay? And just number 3 is just apply. Non-stop application. Turn up every single day, okay? I don't care if you don't want to trade every day, that's fine, but analyze every day, right? Be present every day of the week on the chart if you're trying to be a trader. Doesn't mean trade every day, it means analyze every day. You need to be present. But it's repetition is the master of success. It really is.
That's 10,000 hours.
Hit it. Yeah, exactly, right? 1,000 trades, 10,000 hours. You need to just apply. Every single loss, you're getting closer to consistency. So apply. But don't take crap trades, take quality trades.
Quality. And that's something that we can help with. And I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, because I mean, that's one thing that I always tell people. I'm like, you're taking way too many trades. Where are you taking them from? Oh, I'm taking them from here. Why? That's a secondary. That's a riskier trade. What was the rules? What were, like I always tell people, have a trading plan. Okay. What were your rules behind that? Why? I just took it. That's not going to get you to where you need to go. You need to know why you're taking the trade. You need to have an exit strategy. You need to know for how long you're going to go. You need to know if you're going to do a twin trade. If you're deciding to take a specific strategy, is it just one pair? Are you doing 2 pairs? Are you taking on too many pairs? Are you working with pairs that are correlating so you can kind of manage them better? Or are you trading them all hours of the day or something specific? Like there's so many things. Lynn is actually really good with that. I've noticed as far as like creating trading plans. Guys, that education is all in the back office. Like there's bar none, it's all there. And Aaron with his live sessions, a lot of people don't know, you, Elise, and Jeffrey and David Schinkel, all 4 of you guys, I replay your sessions all the time. Because if I don't catch them, I still want to watch them, right? So thank you guys for that, by the way. And one last thing, because this is a lot. I love everybody. You guys are awesome. If you guys so far appreciate everything that we're sharing, I know I haven't really touched space. Oh my gosh, we're almost an hour in. That's so awesome. And I appreciate your time. I listen, it's felt like 20 minutes, right? Go ahead and hashtag replay, put some fire emojis down below if you guys love what we're sharing with you. But this is my foundation and this is going to be something that I expound on as we're going along and starting a whole, movement called the superhuman movement, because what I believe is that every single person has the ability to be superhuman when they tap into their unique abilities. So what is one thing that you think that you can advise someone to be able to tap into themselves to really spark that superhuman ability within themselves?
You need to find what your passion is. You need to find this. I promise you now, I see people all throughout life that they do what they're not passionate about, and they wonder why they're not successful or very under fulfilled. You have to find what your passion is, right? It's that very cliche saying that you have to first go with the passion, then the money will follow, right? Mm-hmm. I found that my passion in life was, yes, one, freedom, but two, the bigger passion for me was helping people, which is why I do what I do now. And sometimes for free, I don't even charge people to train them sometimes. It's because I have such a passion for watching people achieve this level of freedom. So you have to find what you're passionate about, guys. If you're doing something, if you're not leading with passion, right, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for that. Aaron, it's been such a pleasure. We're probably going to have to do a part 2. I always say this because I feel like there's so much more that we can expound on and like help people with and just really like, I can talk about this stuff all day, but that's why I started the Fired Up Friday series, so that people go into the weekend not falling off, not like saying, okay, that my goals were only important from Monday through Friday, and then saying like, okay, well, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to go ahead and drink and party and all that. Well, it's great to go ahead and have fun. Make sure that the reason you're taking this time off is to get back within, check back within yourself, check what worked throughout the week, what didn't work throughout the week. And if you're if you're a forex trader, definitely study. Don't fall off during the weekend. Or if you're one that only studies on the weekend, like a weekend warrior, definitely make sure you stick to that commitment and don't let anything else, get in the way, because you guys, your family's depending on you. That's all I got to say. Your life is dependent on you. Your family is dependent on your success. And I can almost guarantee that 99% of the people watching, they have somebody who depends on them. And I'm a mom, as a parent, I can say that I have 2 parents that are about to retire. So there's a lot of reasons, a lot of whys for me. And I also have team members that have specific goals and similar goals. And I know you do as well. So thank you so much.
Let me throw it right back to you before we wrap this up. What's your why? Let's hear your why.
Ooh, that's a good question. So, don't make me cry. This is terrible. I have an interview on Tuesday with a friend of mine, so that he's going to be asking me these questions too, guys. And I'll drop that in the chat eventually. But, my why specifically is my son, my primary why. Okay. Cause when I started this journey, when I started looking for entrepreneurship and outlets for that, and I was completely lost. When I got pregnant with him, I was traveling, modeling. All my bills were late. The only reason I had a place to live was because my mom let me live with her. So I was in an interesting place, right? I was just so happy-go-lucky that I was getting to travel, right? So when my son came into the mix, I did an entire 180, went back to school, worked my tail off as a bottle server. So I had no issues with money. And it was an arduous ride, in general. And so when I started to realize that he was watching me, and people don't notice, they watch you. Everything I did was very specific to showing him that mom, my computer's about to die, that mom is a go-getter. Mom is a hard worker. Mom will always be the one to provide, no matter if someone else cannot. And so he's constantly my reminder. And then once that happened, things flourished from there. And I have team members that I pray for, that I help all the time. And a lot of you guys are actually on here. I've helped a lot of people in different situations. I never talk about it. But then I started to realize that what I'm doing for myself is helping so many other people. So I'm not going to quit. And I would hate for them to quit on themselves. And their families, because I'm sure a lot of them have children or wives and husbands and whatnot. So yeah, it's really, ultimately, if I have to bring it all back, it's my son. It's my baby boy.
That's very powerful. That's very, very powerful. There's no stronger power in the world than having a love for your son or daughter. I feel that's a very, very powerful thing. So I really respect you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. It really was what changed me completely. If I hadn't become a parent, I honestly don't know where I would be. I'd probably still be
Mm,
traveling and everything, and it would be great. And I think about that often, but then I also think of what I've gained
mm,
while having to put myself in that position where it's no longer about me. Now it's about
mm.
others. And that's the same thing you experienced when, you had the money. It's like, well, now what? You know what
Right.
I mean? Now what? So I love you guys so much. My phone. Oh,
What's up? Oh, okay. Her thing's died. Right, guys, it's it's died, so we're over. We're done. All right. Thanks everyone for logging in. It's been a lovely afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, hope you've had fun, and I'll see you guys later on. I guess I'm just gonna press the X now. Hopefully that makes this go away. Bye.
oh, so I know Aaron decided to get off. I know this was going to happen because where I have to place my computer, my charger doesn't reach, so I always have to disconnect it. So I'm sorry about that, guys. Everyone who's still on, love you guys so much. That was such an amazing call. Everyone, give some love down below for Aaron. And yeah, so I love you guys so much. This was such a great call. And if you're watching the replay, put a hashtag replay and go ahead and share this out. Tag some people down below if you loved it, and let us know down in the comments what your favorite part was. And I love you guys so much. Tune in next week. Well, yeah, tune in next week for my next Fired Up Friday. We're going to have a surprise guest on. And also tune in on Tuesday. I believe it's at 9 p.m. with my friend Blaze the Lion. He'll be interviewing me. I'll go ahead and put details down below. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful, blessed day and have a great day on purpose. Love you guys.